Hi, guys, and welcome to the Marc the Shark MMA show. Appreciate you guys watching me here on my Twitch channel. And don't forget, please follow me. If you happen to have an Amazon Prime account, you can subscribe for free. And also make sure you follow me on my social media accounts, including the Marc the Shark MMA show, YouTube channel, the Marc the Shark MMA show, Facebook channel. My Twitch channel is Marc BJJ Fighter. And my Instagram is Marc_Retorto. And don't forget, it's Marc with a C and not a K. And don't forget to visit the website where you can sign up to be a guest, you can sign up to become a sponsor, or you can shop. Get fabulous hoodies and t-shirts like the one I'm wearing right here. Not too shabby, right? And also you can make a donation. And also don't forget that I also have a podcast that comes out either on iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Podbean, pretty much everywhere. I have a new episode that comes out every Friday or Sunday, depending on how the week goes. And then I'll be here on Twitch every Saturday. So make sure you watch me every single Saturday on this channel. All right, guys, stay tuned and watch the show and enjoy it.
All right, everybody, we're back on the show. And today, I got a special guest, Master Stephen Lin. How you doing, Steve?
How's it going, Mark? Sorry I couldn't join earlier. Actually, I have my business right now, so it was a little busy earlier, but found some time now. So,
yeah. Speaking of your business, man, let everybody know. Steve recently just opened up his own business, a restaurant. He's in the restaurant business. Can you tell everybody about it?
yeah, I own a restaurant called Cheese Chicken Waffles. We're bringing Southern-style chicken and waffle up from the South to here in the Northeast in New Jersey. So if you live around Morris County, New Jersey, stop by Route 46, look us up. I think you'll enjoy what we offer. So there's my ad right there.
There you go, man. Just mention the show, Marc the Shark MMA show, and he'll give you a deal on your meal when you show up there.
10% off. 10% off, Mark.
Yeah, man. So we're here to talk about the last UFC fight. I guess they call it ESPN 25. Anderson versus Blachowicz, which ended in a KO. But before we get to the main event, I wanted to get your comments because I'm sure you saw the co-main event, right, with Diego Sanchez.
Right, with the controversial ending, correct?
Yeah. Well, actually, he's not the only one. There was another fight that got disqualified too. I'm trying to remember which one. Was it the Vargas fight? I think it was the Brock. Yeah, there were two disqualifications: Brock Weaver, and also Diego Sanchez. I've never seen a UFC event where they had two disqualifications in the same night. So I had to bring it up to you because I just wanted to get your thoughts on it. But particularly with Diego Sanchez and Michael Pereira from Brazil. I mean, Diego is a kind of like a strange dude in general. But dude, man, he was off the charts, dude. He was like foaming in the mouth and everything last night. You know?
Yeah. I mean, what's interesting is that I think they mentioned it during the broadcast, but he actually only had one person in his corner. He recently left the Jackson team, which, as you know, that's one of the most successful MMA teams in MMA history. And Diego was actually one of the guys he was homegrown. A lot of the guys that came to Greg Jackson were guys that were already good. George St. Pierre, Rashad Evans. But yep. Greg took him to the next level. Diego has been there since he was a teenager. That was the guy. Greg was the guy who built him up from just a high school wrestler into title challenger. So it looks like there must have been a lot. I think there was a lot of turmoil right before the fight happened.
Yeah, I recently just saw an interview with Donald Cerrone on it, and he was saying that their camp has kind of gone downhill, the Jackson camp. He's like, you could pretty much, they'll take anybody off the street if they pay money. So it's kind of like weird,
There's been a lot of drama going down. I believe it's I believe the coach that Cerrone has specifically had problems with was Coach Winklejohn.
Yeah.
There's been drama. I know John Jones. There was some kind of drama actually involving John Jones as well, and apparently he wasn't paying one of his trainers. He was not paying one of his trainers. I don't know if you heard about that.
Oh yeah, I did see some news on that. Recent, like a couple months ago, before his other match, recent match, they had that. Yeah, I kind of remember that. But there's something going on in that camp there. You know?
A lot of drama right now. I think Donald actually does a lot of his camps at his own ranch now, right? He's got his ranch. Yes, so.
Kind of weird, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so what did you think of those disqualifications?
What do I think, or what does he think?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think the one with Diego Sanchez, I think maybe the guy just didn't understand because he's probably from a different country. But the other one with Brooke Weaver, I mean, that guy is, I think he kind of knew. I don't know why he did it, but, I mean, what are your thoughts on it?
I thought it was interesting that they automatically gave him a DQ instead of ruling a no contest. That seems to be usually the case a lot of times, right? If there's a foul, yeah. They usually at least give a warning, or they'll give a warning. And if the person can't continue, then they usually just rule a no contest.
Huh. Yeah, I thought that was odd, right?
I'm assuming maybe it has something to do with this. There's actually this event took place in New Mexico, which, as you know, that's Diego's home state. So,
yeah, so that was fine. But yeah, I was like, and then you got Blachowicz. Now he's like calling out John Jones, who recently just won his last title defense. What do you think his chances are with that against John Jones?
I mean, if Del Rey's couldn't beat Jones, as you know, that's very controversial. A lot of people thought the fight should have gone the other way. But I think if Del Rey's couldn't get a dominant win over Jones, then I don't see Jan being able to get the same result. I think he's actually kind of a small 205, right? Didn't he used to fight at middleweight, or am I thinking of someone else?
You might be. Yeah, I'm not too sure of his history, to be honest with you. But yeah, he might have. I don't think so, though. I'd have to check his background.
But I think he fought Jacare, right? And Jacare's a middleweight.
Yeah, they did mention that in the event that that he had to be leery of his submissions, but he didn't feel like he would be threatened with submissions in terms of
against Corey.
Yeah. But yeah, it was kind of interesting. It was kind of interesting to see the first round knockout, but getting back to Diego, man, he was like when they first called him out and they shook hands or whatever before the fight actually started. He kind of like looked like a little rooster with his lips puckering up, right? I was like, what the fuck is this guy doing, dude? Oh my God. But man, he's been there for a long time, man. And I actually like that guy that even though he lost the disqualification, but Michael Pera, I remember I saw he came on the scene. I think he's got like 30 MMA fights. This is only his second fight in the UFC, but like this debut, he came out with a flying knee.
Usually backflips and all this like capoeira stuff.
Oh, he did that on Diego.
Yeah.
When Diego was on the ground, instead of like doing like a normal guard pass to the side mount, he kind of like did a weird backflip on him. And then Diego was holding back.
He was actually holding back a little bit. Last fight, he was just like spamming those type of moves for the entire first round. And he actually gassed out. He actually was winning, but then he gassed out just because he was just throwing all these crazy moves everywhere.
Yeah, man. I thought that was crazy. And then Diego was doing some crazy cartwheel type kicks.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what did you think of Ray Borg's fight? I thought that was pretty cool. Like, he dominated that guy in terms of wrestling, you know?
Well, that might be Borg's last fight at 125, right? I think I heard something about an ultimatum that if he couldn't make weight for at 125 again, which he did not, they would force him to move up to bantamweight.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he totally dominated that guy there with his wrestling. You know, totally. I mean, I was pretty impressed with that. But I mean, like, if you had to pick fight of the night other than, I guess, the main event where the guy won by a knockout, like, who would you give it to for this event?
I remember that team Main's fight. That team Main's fight was pretty good. I don't know if it was the fight of the night, but there's a lot of stand-up action, and there's that good guillotine, right? So that was that guillotine is a little bit different from what I usually see.
Yeah, that was a little weird, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out, like, what the hell he got it.
I think he was the grip that he did was kind of like the rare naked choke grip, right?
Yeah. So that would be your. I don't know who got fighter tonight, but I was just like trying to get your opinion on it. I mean, I would definitely say the most entertaining fight was probably Diego Sanchez's fight up to the point where I got disqualified. You know what I mean? Oh my God! Now, before we get into, because I think there's you got Romero's coming up, right? When's his fight?
I guess Israel. I know that's coming up, but I'm not sure of the exact date.
I think it's in March. I just want to double check something. Yeah, it must be March. So we'll get to that on another one because you got Felder versus Hooker. But what did you think with the John Jones fight, the last one? It was at UFC 247. What are your thoughts on the judging for that?
Well, I know a lot of people felt that the race is ripped off, but for me, I felt it could have gone either way. That's what happens when you have a guy who starts off strong, and then as the rounds go on, he starts slowing down. With the judges, the last impression will always be what stays in their mind when they're deciding on the cards. You know.
Yeah.
So even if you spend this first two rounds beating the guy up, if in the last round you're getting hit, you look tired, then that's got to stay in the judges' minds.
Yeah, now I'm trying to remember. Didn't Pride judge their fights differently? I'm trying to remember if they looked at the last round or if they judged the whole entire fight. Pride did it differently than the UFC.
The way Pride did it is that basically there was different rounds, right? But you wouldn't score by round. You would score the entire fight as if it was one round.
Mm.
So I remember a good example was the fight of Ricardo Arona versus Guy Metzger, where for most of the fight, nothing really happened. But because Arona got taken down in the last 1 minute, that was enough for him to win the entire fight. So.
Yeah. I wonder if the UFC should go now. And I remember, like, there's also talks about, like, all right, currently they got only 3 judges. They're saying, like, maybe they should bump it up to 5. So I guess it would be more fair judging. But here's my take on it, right? My mind going into that fight, I didn't really expect Rios to really do that well, I guess, because I didn't really know him that well. But in my opinion, I think if it was another person other than John Jones, I think they might have given it to Rios. And the reason I say that is because John Jones is not just a champ, but he's been a champ for so long. Like, I think he's going on 10 years now. Whereas
I think I think the general idea is right. Is that if you're gonna get the belt, you have to beat the champ. You have to be dominant. You can't just kind of scrape by. Good example is right when I think Maynard fought Edgar that second time, where Edgar, even though Edgar took a beating, he still managed to do enough to keep his belt. You can't just scrape by. Well, I guess do you remember the Cejudo versus Mighty Mouse fight?
Sure. I don't remember if I actually saw that one.
But that was really close. That was a really close fight. Yeah, people were saying that, Cejudo, he's barely scraped it out. You can't just do that against the champion. You have to actually go out there and take the belt from him. So I think that's kind of mentality. Yeah, when championship fights are a little bit different from regular fights in that people they really want to see the challenger dethrone the champion. They don't want to see him just kind of like barely make it out there. So maybe that might be a factor. So
yeah, for me, I think I knew that if it went to a decision, Jones was going to get it only because he was such a dominant champion for the last 10 years. I think maybe if he would just, let's say he just won the belt and this was his first title defense, maybe they would have given it to Reyes. That's just my opinion. But when you look at it, towards the end, John Jones did pressure him a lot. I mean, Reyes was hitting him occasionally with the uppercut, but Jones was, cornering him, like cutting him off a lot. So, my hat's off to John Jones. I think he did a great job,
I mean, John Jones definitely has even though his IQ outside the octagon is not too high, I do think he has very high IQ inside the octagon. He knows how to follow. He just knows how to follow the perfect game plan. Listens to his coaches. Even though it's entire 5 rounds, right? What was he doing the entire time? Moving forward. Even when Reyes was popping him in the face, first 2 rounds, I think Reyes won.
Yeah.
But even then, Jones kept coming forward. He never relented under pressure, and eventually that paid off. And he dragged him into the championship rounds. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I think he's really, especially with these close fights, is how you do the way you do in the last 2 rounds is way more important than how you do in the first 3.
Yeah.
And that was a game. I think him and his coaches knew that would be the game plan, and that's how it played out in their favor. So I mean, hats off to his fight IQ.
Yeah, definitely. Now, who do you think? You think he's going to get that matchup with Blachowicz that he beat Corey or what?
I mean, John Jones doesn't want to fight Del Reyes again. And I remember there's an interview. I think he did an interview afterwards where he said he would welcome the challenge from Jans. So I think we'll probably see that coming up.
You think that would happen first before the rematch?
I think that'll happen first. I know the contender spot keeps kind of shifting because I remember. Do you remember? Johnny Walker, right?
Yeah.
He was supposed to be the big hyped guy that might have a chance to beat John Jones, but then he got knocked out by Corey Anderson in the first round.
Yep.
After that, Anderson became that guy, and then now that he got knocked out in the first round, I think Jan now is, quote unquote, the guy.
Do you think John Jones should move up to heavyweight?
They've been talking about that for years now. I think it probably would have happened already if it wasn't for all the time that he spent away from competition due to his personal issues. But I'm guessing that they'll probably give him one more light heavyweight fight. And after that, they might put him up to heavyweight. That's my guess.
Yeah, because I've heard that he's saying that he wants to do it for at least another 10 years. And that I also heard that he thinks he can beat Stipe, the current champ. So, my thought process is if he thinks he can beat him, step up to the plate. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then go down in history as being a 2-way champ. But those guys in that division are just so big, dude. Heavyweight, man. Oh, my God. Like, who's the guy that recently beat Overeem and split his lip open?
It was Curtis Blades, right?
Oh, my God.
Was it? No. Curtis Blades did beat Overeem, but I don't think he was the split lip guy.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who that guy is. Oh, man. Whoever it was, dude, that guy was humongous. And that would be the guys that Jones would have to face. Them and he's the size of the Black Beast, but he's got more skill than a Black Beast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's crazy. So next week they got, see what's on the schedule. The next UFC is not till, I think is, whatchamacallit? I think it's the Irish Dragon? That can't be right. No, they got one February. Benavidez.
He's back? He's back?
Yeah. That guy's been around for a while, man. He's looking to get in there.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that rematch with Cejudo.
Yeah. Oh, wait, no, Felder. No, Felder is before him. Felder versus Hooker.
Dan Hooker.
Yeah.
Right.
I think Hooker might take that one, dude. What are your thoughts on that? This would be UFC ESPN 26. What do you think, Hooker or Felder on that one?
I think Felder could outstrike Hooker. I still remember that beating that Hooker took from Barboza, another kickboxer.
Yeah. And then, I don't know if it's on that same card. Oliveira is fighting Kevin. What's his name?
Kevin Lee.
Yeah. When's that fight taking place? That on this
I'm not
one?
sure. I'm not sure what's taking place, but I think of all the fights that you mentioned, that's the one I'm looking forward to the most. I'm a huge Oliveira fan. I've never seen him bad. He's been in the UFC for a while now. I've never seen a bad fight from him, whether he wins or loses.
Yeah, man. Kevin Lee, though, man's been stepping up to the plate pretty well lately, man.
Yeah, he actually,
power.
you know this, but he made me lose about $1,600 last time he fought. So I don't even remember that.
Who was that fight against?
Giuseppe, the wrestler.
Yeah.
Giuseppe. Yeah.
That guy I thought was going to be promising until he got knocked out. That guy had great wrestling, good submissions, and then Kevin just laid him out, man.
Yeah. Well, I thought it would be two wrestlers going at it, and then I thought that Giuseppe's wrestling will overcome Kevin's just because his credentials are so much better. But the wrestling didn't even come into play. That's the risk you take when you bet on these fights, So
yeah. So who do you think's going to win that one? Kevin Lee or Oliveira?
I know Kevin Lee's been submitted a few times, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But Kevin Lee's looks like he left Extreme Couture. I believe he's training at TriStar now. As you can saw from his last fight, that really paid off. Oliveira has a tendency to, unfortunately, kind of if he doesn't knock you out or submit you right away, or if you put some pressure on him, he has a tendency to wilt. And Kevin Lee is very good at just getting top, grinding you down, getting top of you, making that fight miserable. So I think even though my heart's with Oliveira, I would have to go with Lee for this one.
Yeah, man. I hope Oliveira wins, but I don't know. I may have the same thought as you with Kevin Lee taking it, But we'll see. No one knows. No one knows till the fight happens.
Right.
No, before I let you go, tell everybody again, what's the address again for your restaurant?
All right, for those of you that are listening from Jersey, I am at 286 Route 46 in Rockaway in Morris County. Look up Cheeks Chicken and Waffles. That's CHEEKS. And Mark, when are you going to come visit?
I got to come there soon, man. I'm probably going to come. I was going to come this weekend, but, man, it was just too cold. Even leave the house. But I'm definitely going to come down. Like when they got a UFC down there, I'll probably come down and watch the UFC and order some food from you. Maybe next weekend or the weekend after, dude. I'm definitely down for it. Yeah, man. Mark approved. His food. And then we'll probably even do a shoot from there. We'll do a little mini podcast from there.
Live from Cheeks. There you go. Live from Cheeks.
Yeah, man. Shark approved, babe. So everybody out there from Jersey, go check out his restaurant, and then we'll go leave it from there. All right, everybody. We'll be back from a short break.
All right, guys. We'll be right back. But first, a word from our sponsors.
Guys, if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel and hit the alert button so you get updates. And also, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. This podcast episode is brought to you by Defense Soap. Defend what you have built. Save 15% with the code Marc the Shark MMA Show, used by all jiu-jitsu and MMA athletes to prevent skin infections. This podcast is also brought to you by Audible. Go to www.audibletrial.com/MMA Show, and you get a free audiobook when you sign up for a 30-day trial. This episode is also brought to you by HostGator.
Save 60% on your web hosting needs by using the promo code Mark the Shark MMA Show. Again, save 60% on your web hosting needs with HostGator. This podcast episode is also brought to you by Ritordo Family Books. If you're interested in great books for your children to read, get books by Christina Ritordo. And if you're interested in action, thriller, suspense books, you can get The Cabal, The Saga Begins, or fantasy books like Marcus the Vampire, both written by your host, Marc the Shark Ritordo. Again, go to www.ritortofamilybooks.com. Also, do not forget to go to the Marc the Shark MMA Show podcast website, the shop for our merchandise. We got t-shirts, hoodies, tank tops, hats, and even mugs. Anything you can want with the Marc the Shark MMA Show podcast name on it. And also, please do not forget to go to our website where you can make a donation to support the podcast. All you have to do is click on the donation button.
All right, guys. This week's episode is done on a live show. But if you happen to be listening to this in a podcast format, keep listening because there's more content to follow. All right, guys. See you guys next week.